Welcome back to Panda Recaps. Today I will show you a film from 2002 titled The Transporter. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Frank is a former ex-special operations soldier who now works as a highly skilled transporter. In one of his jobs, he is hired as a getaway driver for a bank robbery. While they get into the car and load the loot, he changes the license plate number and notices that there are 4 of them. He says that his first rule is to never change the deal, so fourth will need to take a walk. With a gun to his head, he is commanded to change the deal and drive, but Frank clarifies that they will not make it to the gas station with extra weight of the 4th passenger, based on his precisely planned getaway. He mentions that extra weight won't allow them to outmaneuver the cops, which increases the chance of being caught. As the situation gets more heated, he refuses to drive until they get rid of one of them, which the leader does, pushing the poor guy out of the car so Frank can finally start driving and get them to location. Frank finally can show what he's capable of. His reaction time, calm attitude and perfectly planned route, manage cops look like fools. While driving like there is no tomorrow, one of the robbers feels sick and Frank asks him to take some fresh air since the leather seats have been conditioned recently. They continue their journey and everything is according to the plan, but unfortunately, they get trapped when a garbage truck blocks their way. Not a big deal for Frank since he makes a burnout and manages to escape by jumping on the back of a trailer. At the destination, Frank receives more money than agreed and is asked to drive them to Avignon, but Frank refuses on the basis of the first rule, changes the license plate number and leaves. At home, Frank is making a drink when his attention is attracted by the news of robbers, who got caught on the way to Avignon by their poor driving. While watching the news, a local police inspector, Turconi, has come to ask him questions about his car. He says that black BMW, with 0 and 6 in the license plate, was used as a getaway car, driven by a highly skilled driver, but Frank has no clue about it. Since the inspector didn't find anything extraordinary, he leaves to check other suspected cars. Shortly after, Frank receives a business call and meets to get further details of his next job. He asks for exact dimensions and weight of the bag, but stops the man who wants to clarify to whom the package will be delivered. Frank reveals his second rule: no names. The next day, the bag is loaded into Frank's car and he is on the way to destination, but is forced to stop to replace the flat tire. After opening the trunk, he realizes that he's transporting a human being, but does nothing about it, changes the tire and gets back on the road. After the pit stop, he decides to violate his third rule, to never open a package, in order to give something to drink to a person in his trunk. He discovers a young lady, all tied up and scared, lets her drink and puts her back. After countless bangs in the car's back, he makes another stop because she has to meet her natural needs. Frank ties her up so she couldn't escape, but she tries her luck anyway, however, without success. They both are greeted by 2 policemen, but Frank uses his fighting skills and solves the problem, knocking them unconscious. As promised, Frank delivers the package. Betancourt asks him if he has looked in it since he's late, but Frank denies, calling one of his rules, never open the package. He just ran into small problems. Betancourt likes him. He closes the deal and before Frank's leaving, offers him another job, to transport the briefcase. Frank's happy about the proposal and agrees. On his way to the new destination, he stops for a quick meal and decides to give drink to left cops in his trunk when suddenly, the hidden bomb in the briefcase explodes. Out for vengeance, he returns to Betancourt's villa where he wounds and kills several of his henchmen. Then he steals a car and drives away. On his way home, he notices the lady in the back of the car, angrily stopping, and throwing her outside. He reconsiders his decision by returning back and throwing her in an already well-known place for her. At home, he learns from her that he's enraged very bad people and is in really deep shit. He doesn't want to hear more, so he unties her, makes her dinner and goes to bed. While he's sleeping, Lai digs up his personal things and finds photos and evidence of his past. She thinks that she is safe with him and stays at his place. At the same time, Betancourt visits one of his survived men in the hospital in order to clarify who attacked his house. After discovering that Frank is alive, he kills the man so he couldn't tell anything to the police. The next day, Lai greets Frank with coffee and tea as she doesn't know what he prefers. But the only thing he prefers is quiet in the mornings. Also, his morning routine is interrupted by Turconi, who is welcomed in for a coffee and Lai introduces her as Frank's new cook. He starts asking Frank about his car and shows his license plate, but Frank acts clueless, replying that the car was stolen and Lai supports his alibi by telling that she picked him up on a dark road. Turconi is skeptical about the story and asks to see the car. As he approaches the car's broken front, Lai distracts his attention and stops him from further inspection. He is sorry to interrupt and is escorted by Frank, but tells him to prepare a better story on their upcoming visit at his office. Inside the house, they have an argument. He's angry that she came and ruined his quiet life, making it a catastrophe. While he's still wondering if he wants to know anything about her, he notices that it is unusually quiet and the missile hits the house. They are under attack by Betancourt's men. Luckily, they manage to get to the basement by the elevator and jump inside an underwater passage, where scuba gear awaits them to get to Frank's safe house. Inside the house, she wants to make up for the caused trouble, which Frank clearly doesn't mind and comes inside. Later, they both are at Turcone's office, where they are questioned about the little incident with Frank's house. They make up a story of spending a romantic day on the beach completely alone and returning home, found that the house was on fire. But Turcone does not believe them, since men who shoot 5,000 rounds don't make mistakes about who they visit. He suspects that it is one of Frank's enemies from the past. After Turcone is called outside the cabinet, Lai hurries to his computer and finds information on Betancourt, managing not to be caught. Outside, Lai is on her way to find Betancourt, but Frank wishes her good luck. She is surprised that Frank is not going with her and wants to start a new life, but Frank suggests she do that too since they are presumed to be dead. Lai informs him that Betancourt is a human trafficker, who is smuggling 400 people in a container on a ship, including her family, who will live as slaves. Frank finally puts a puzzle together of Lai's good behavior. He was set up to get involved after she found pictures of him in the house. She justifies that not everything was a lie, especially the romantic moment between them. He is touched by her words and agrees to help as it is the first time when somebody cares for his efforts of saving the people. In Betancourt's office, he is greeted with a slap in his face and a gun on his head. Lai searches through the papers to find the number of the container while Frank wants to know the reason why Betancourt tried to kill him. Frank lied to him, broke his own rules and opened the package. What did he expect? Recommendation? Lai has not found the number, so Frank entrusts her a gun and looks by himself when Betancourt gets notified by his secretary that his partner, Lai's father, has arrived. Frank is shocked because her father was meant to be in a container, but she brushes it aside, telling that there were 400 other people in the container. Mr. Kwai, together with his henchmen, arrive at the office and command her to drop the gun in exchange for Frank's life, which she does. About to get rid of Frank, Betancourt gets notified that police have arrived and are coming upstairs, so Frank gets knocked to the ground. As they arrive, Betancourt accuses Frank of using Lai to blackmail them, pressing charges on kidnapping, extortion and assault. Frank wakes up, locked up in a cell. The first question he asks is where Betancourt and Kwai are, but Turcone suggests to be more concerned of himself. Frank finally agrees and tells about smuggling people in containers for enslavement. He will start an investigation, but Frank claims that they do not have that much time. Turcone wonders how fast Frank could solve this and is impressed that it is possible in less than 12 hours, so they come up with a new plan. Frank uses Turcone as his faux hostage to escape the police station. He drives to the harbor with Turcone in his trunk, and leaves him to continue his way by boat to the docks in Marseille, where containers are loaded onto the trucks. With the help of a stethoscope, he is searching for people in containers, but is spotted by Betancourt's men and himself, who knocks him on the ground and leaves for his men. But Frank is just getting started, eliminating them one by one. Few kicks on the left and the right, and Frank is proceeding his chase. Due to lack of time, he fails to stop the trucks but manages to jump on one of them. The driver sees him and tries to get rid of him, but Frank changes his route and uses a bus. At the bus park, Betancourt's men are showing up like devil-may-care, flanking him inside a bus. But Frank always has a plan. He continues his fighting session by showing them unseen moves he got. On his way out, he gets slapped again. This time, the man is a bit bigger than he is. While being busy, more henchmen arrive to finally get the things done, but Frank overturns a can of oil and soaks himself in it, using it as his advantage. He gets pedals from a bicycle and finishes them all off with impressive spins, but unfortunately, more men arrive and start shooting. He uses one of the guys as a shield and escapes by jumping out of the window in the water. Afterwards, he steals an old car to go after the trucks, but the car breaks down at the wrong time. Frustrated, he notices a crop duster and makes up a new plan, chasing the plane and kindly asking the farmer to help him. From the plane, he parachutes on one of the trucks and gets into the cabin. Driver learns that revenge is a dish, best served cold. While Kwai is trying to shoot him down, Betancourt surprises him and the fighting ensues. They both struggle and change in some kicks and attacks, but Betancourt uses the truck's handbrake, throwing Frank out the window. Somehow, Frank is still alive and is under the truck. He climbs up the trailer, jumps in the cabin through the windshield and finally throws him out of the truck. After that, Frank parks the truck and gets surprised by Kwai, who forces him get off and march to the cliff's edge. As he's waiting to see it coming, Kwai is shot by his daughter. When Turcone arrives, he's impressed how fast Frank solved this. He underestimated him. Lai opens the container doors, welcoming all of the people outside. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.